Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Bethlehem Morning Show. I am your host, Sergio Mejia, joined by my co-host, Craig Ward. What's up, bro?
Man, not much. What about you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good this morning. It's a rainy day outside, but I like rain. I like the vibe that rain puts on you. So I woke up feeling good.
You got that song on your heart, I Feel the Rain?
I feel the I feel the rain. We need the rain.
We need the rain.
We need the rain.
It ain't I feel it, yeah.
He said, "I feel the rain." Hey,
I feel it.
I did feel it
feel
when I
it.
got out the car.
There it is.
But man, yeah, bro, we've had a good weekend. What have you been up to, bro? You been busy? You been going around?
You know what? It's been just work this week and family reunions and stuff like that, or Christmas dinners, with family, and just the holiday seasons.
And that's what I like is when it gets close to that holiday season. I know for me, we've been spending a lot more like family time, family reunions, like you said, and that's always fun, especially when you get to hang out with that family that you probably don't get to see often. So I'm sure that's been fun with you guys.
Yeah, and we're seeing not just in my family, but you're just seeing a lot of families getting back together now. And you know what I mean? That maybe, like you said, hadn't seen each other in quite a while. And that's always it just fills you with joy to see that.
Yeah, it does because, I know you stay pretty busy with a lot of things in ministry. I know I'm pretty busy, but the other day, before I had to go play at a church service, I was able to hang out with some family that was at my house that I don't typically hang out with that much, and it just felt really good to be able to, as we get close to the holiday season like that, because it was really unplanned. Really, I'm not even going to say it was planned. I'd be lying if I say it was planned, but it was a good time anyway, and it just got me to just be so thankful. Real thankful for just the experience to just have everybody there and having a good time.
To just know that they want to come hang out with you and don't want to avoid you.
Right. They still like you, huh?
Yeah, they still like you, and they may need something from you. I don't know, but
They said they may need something. Maybe, but man, that's a blessing, and it's a blessing to be here and spend this. I know because we're headed towards the end of the year with church family and everything else as well. So, man, it's just been a lot of good times, bro. I feel like the end of the year I guess with these last couple of weeks, it's kind of starting to slow down. Things are a little bit, well, slow down in a different way because things are still up to speed with family and getting presents and stuff and going shopping. Bro, I feel like no matter what day of the week it is, and I'm from New Albany, and it's always busy. Traffic.
it's always busy.
Bro, I've never seen Walmart so packed out.
Bethlehem has been busy lately.
Really?
Yeah, like everybody that drives 20, they pull out in front of me lately, and I'm like, what is this?
Everybody, huh?
Everybody is busy, but they're doing it slow.
Right. Well, they got to get that Christmas shopping going, huh? But, man, bro, regardless, we're going to have a good time. And so we've got so much to be thankful for. And we've got a new year to be looking forward to as well. So I'm excited about that, bro.
Well, we around here, we have life groups. We have all kinds of other different groups going on throughout the week, and most of those are being put on hold till after the first of the year. And people are just they're tired, and holidays is coming up. Family gatherings is coming up. People are busy, but there's still just that pull of I'm supposed to be here tonight. I'm supposed to be there. And you're like, oh, I got the night off. Oh, yippee, I got the night off. But in a sense, it's kind of like, man, I don't really want the night off, though.
You kind of miss it, don't you?
You miss it. You miss it when you don't have it, and then you hear somebody say, "Hey, man, are we meeting tonight? I need a meeting, or I need a, you know what I mean? I need a life group tonight," and you're like, "Come on, come on."
New Year, yeah. You're like, come on, New Year. Listen, time to get on with it with life groups, bro. But yeah, that's awesome, bro. I mean, it lets you know that people enjoy doing that stuff, that they're really involved, and that they're getting a spiritual growth benefit from it. Because if there wasn't anybody saying anything like that, then you'd probably just be like, well, I don't know if people are really enjoying it, getting what they need out of it. But it definitely goes to show that people are getting what they need at these life groups, and, anything that has to do involving the church.
And we even see it like the results of it is the revivals that we're seeing here in the church. throughout the small groups. And you and I wasn't even planning to talk about small groups, but here we are.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing revival here. We're seeing the men just go to another level of, stepping out in front and being on fire for God in front of everybody, leading the way. We're seeing children in revival now. You know what I mean? We had 5 children get baptized last week. That's happening because of why? Because their parents are getting involved and their parents are digging in, and the kids are watching their parents, and they want, you know what I mean? They feel the same thing we feel, and they watch us, and guess what? It's the next generation. It's the future.
I don't know if it was preached over the pulpit here, but I think I heard a preacher say that kids will do what the parents do even better.
Even better. They should. Pastor V preaches that the next, he has said that the young minister coming up under him shouldn't, I don't forget how he says it exactly, I don't want to misquote him, but he expects them to be better than him because of what they have plus what he's put in them, so it's kind of along those lines, and he can correct that if he sees fit, but it's that should be that. We should be teaching people to be better than what we are. What's the purpose in teaching them?
And what better way to teach them than to lead by the example?
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, it's not just a spotlight, just the men. I'm not trying to take away from the ladies or anybody, because everybody has their place here and everybody's fulfilling that spot. But, when I look across here and I see all these men just stepping up, it just does something to me. I mean, I love it. I love it. It's you see fruits of what we've been praying for, what we've been, worshiping God and praising God for the results that we're having, and it's just keeping on and adding to.
I know one thing that has to do with that is the life groups.
Yes.
Because I know that I see the unity. I know we have like a big Facebook group chat, and sometimes I hop on there and I'll see that it's encouraging messages, encouraging words, and like you said earlier, when's the next life group? What do I need to bring? What do I need to get? What do I need to? And I've seen prayer requests asked for, and I've seen encouraging. There's just so much.
Have you noticed how there's new people added weekly?
Almost weekly. Yeah, I have noticed that.
Bro, that's just
because the other day I made an internal joke. I said, when do the Facebook group chats cap out? When do they? Because we have about it seems like 50 people.
It's a lot. It's a lot of men in that group. Some men that don't even go to church here yet. And you notice I said yet, but because I believe it, you know what I mean? And I'm not against where they're at. I'm not whatever, but I just know what I see and hey, you can't deny it, bro. The Holy Ghost is working, and new people are being added weekly. So I love to see that. I love to see those new faces. I love to see that multi-generational that we're seeing in the men's department and the men's life group, rather. Same difference. But it's really, really just heartfelt, just joy. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but to see you be able to come and give those older men something, to see those older men be able to come and give you something, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right, it is. And, as you were speaking, I kind of got to thinking about something that you said earlier. You said that we've been seeing a lot of men, but also a lot of children come up to the altar.
Yes.
And I can't help but think that, I think about the man's role in the household, how he is the head of a house spiritually and biblically, and how when the men step up, children, and not that the mother stepping up, like you said, I'm not trying to just spotlight the men and just say that the mothers have no impact. They, of course, have their own role in it. But I think that it also has so much to say that when men begin to step up in the church, you see a lot of those. We're talking about 8-year-old kids. We're not talking like teenagers. We're talking younger children watch dad or watch another man that they may look up to or is inspired by. And you see how they come up here to the front, and we end up with 5 baptized, you said?
5 baptized last week. 5 children.
Last week.
Children, just children. So, I mean.
Their decision.
And it's just, man, it's just amazing. It's amazing. But you know what? I tell you, I got to give the ladies props, though. They've been for years
Absolutely.
meeting here every Tuesday night.
Tuesday nights, yep.
Praying.
Yep.
I mean, faithfully, they have. I have came in here before, and it literally, these women be travailing, bro.
Bro, you know what that's got me thinking about? I can't help but imagine how many of their prayers were almost intercessions for either their husbands or the men
Sure.
of this church
Sure.
to be able to ignite that fire
Sure.
and that flame inside
Yes.
of the men here.
And you
with
know
what we're seeing.
You know what? With that thought, they may not see their spouse yet, but because of what they're doing,
Right.
the
Or
church is
their
being
child.
added to.
Yeah.
Or their child,
Yeah.
or their sibling, or their, you know what I mean, their whatever. Because of their obedience to what God has called them into, God's working in their situation. Even though they may not seen it yet, God is working in their situation because they're working for His situations. Right. So and I believe that it goes back to that. I believe it goes back to the prayer, the dedication, the obedience to the call that we're seeing the revival in the men and the children right now. We're seeing revival in women too. I don't want to make it sound like we're all about the men and
Right.
but I believe it goes back to all of that prayer that these ladies have faithfully put into play here and faithfully stood on because they've done it. I know they have. I've watched my wife come up here and do it and be here half the night, you know, and I'm not fussing about that. Just come home, just wore slap out from being in prayer all night.
You know, I think it's amazing what a group, because I know it's been the ladies, like you said, that have come Tuesday nights. And but more than that, what I get from it, it's amazing to see that when a group of people from a church get together and pray, the effects that it can have. It's a ripple effect that continues and continues and continues. I can't help but imagine if more, you know, because I'm thankful for what we were seeing. I'm thankful for what's been going on, and we're seeing what's going on. But I can't help but imagine like the effects of more of it growing. You know, the prayer meetings, because you know, you just told me your wife would come home wore out.
Well,
That's a sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice, you know, and have to get up and go to work the next morning.
She has.
And it's awesome. I absolutely love it. You know, I love what we're seeing, and I believe it's results of that. You know, we're talking about the men, how we're seeing the men stepping up, but we're not seeing what the ladies have already stepped up and done before.
Right.
That ain't on camera. That ain't out here in front of everybody. But it's what is the most important. And I believe it's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. The revival that we see every week here at Bethlehem, I truly believe it's being birthed in prayer, not just what you see out here. This is important, but the prayer is more important.
You know, it makes me think about the fact that before we came on, you know, me and you were discussing how we feel like God is beginning to do a new thing. And I think it's just already so evident, you know, especially with what we're seeing. And what I'm seeing now more than ever is kind of like just this unity in a focusing for like spiritual disciplines, one of them being prayer. Because, you know, if we're being honest, it's a sacrifice
It
to
is.
get together, you know.
And it shouldn't be, but,
Right.
our flesh makes it that way.
Yeah, you know, because you may not always want. I know your wife every day, maybe when she came up here, didn't always perhaps feel the energy. Maybe the desire was there, but the energy, you know, and then getting together, organizing it. And so, but it comes to, but with all this being said, I say it because it comes to show the results. You know, you see that kids are, because I believe one of those kids was your child, right? How did you feel in that moment? Like, what did you think?
You know what?
Where did that take you?
And I don't mean to put the spotlight on my child versus anyone else's because everyone else's was just as amazing as mine.
Absolutely.
About 3 weeks ago, ours came to us and said he wanted to get baptized. He's 6 years old.
Wow.
All right. I was baptized when I was 6 years old, and I really don't remember it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, I know I was because I've seen pictures. I've seen the baptismal log. I mean, I remember Bishop Wilson, but I just don't actually remember the actual process, you know. So I was a little hesitant about it. I was like, you know, I want you to be sure you know what you're doing. So we started talking about baptism stuff, and he kind of lost interest in it a little bit. Quit talking about it. Being a kid, went on, done what he done. Well, a couple of weeks ago, he came to Pastor V. Me and Kenyon didn't even know he had done it. He walked up to Pastor V, and he's like, Pastor V, I want to get baptized. So, of course, Pastor V tells him, you need to talk to your mom and dad. So he comes back to us and tells us all that. We didn't even know it had happened.
Your 6-year-old son.
6-year-old son.
This is incredible.
Went to his pastor and told him, without his mom and daddy, without anything, that he wanted to get baptized. So, that just made me think, well, you know what? He's really got it on his mind. And I give props to our Sunday school department because they're evidently doing their job.
Absolutely.
If all these kids have got baptism on their mind too,
Absolutely.
and furthering their walk with God. So it's not just up here. It's in the back too, in the children's church. But that's the way it come about. So he said, I'm doing it next Sunday night. And lo and behold, we didn't know there was 4 others getting baptized the same night.
Wow.
So, bro,
So that was unplanned.
It was God's. God was working,
Wow.
God was working. There was something, apparently there was a move of God going on within that age group of kids at the same time. And I believe we're going to see more of it because, usually when God starts, it don't just stop at 1 or 5. So, I believe we're going to see a lot more of that and awesome. That's the future of the church. That's what we should be hoping for. So.
That's so incredible to hear because I almost thought it was something that was organized, like, hey, we're all going to get. But you're telling me it was unplanned. I wasn't aware of that, and that's incredible because it's like you said, when God starts something, He's also it doesn't stop there, because that almost reminds me of the time that during the radical recovery, there was all those young men that got baptized. How, God just has a way of just, if one or a couple can just kind of, get going with it, God just begins to multiply. He begins to add. He begins to give that increase because of that faithfulness. Man, bro, that's incredible.
I'll tell you something that's it's kind of cool to me because I'm a dad, but it's a granddad got to baptize 3 of his grandkids. Another father baptized his child, and then I got to baptize my child. All of us are out there on the front lines doing God's will, or we're working for God. Let me put it that way. We're striving to be in God's will, and then we get to baptize our own children that are seeking after God. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big for a father to be able to be a part of that.
I'm not trying to talk like you, but it makes me think about, just about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know that you can tell me, that you would have ever imagined.
Choices matter, bro.
Exactly where I was going with that. It just gets me to thinking there may be a parent right now or somebody who maybe it was in church at one point in their life who is in a place right now that they may feel like, well, I'm just too far gone. I'm too far gone. My kids are too far gone. My family's too far gone. But when I look at your life, and I don't not only see what God's been doing through you personally and your wife as a married couple, but as what I'm seeing happen here present in front of my own eyes through your youngest child, it shows me the faithfulness of God that your decisions really do matter.
They don't just matter for you. They matter for everyone around you. Yeah. There's a stigma out there that says addiction doesn't affect the person that's addicted as bad as it affects the people right around their circle. They're the ones actually dealing with the havoc of the addiction, not the person. So it's the same thing when you're making good choices. The people around you get the results of the good choices and the good decisions and the benefits and the rewards just as well as you do. And, so it's awesome to see people make choices that are good for them, but not just good for them. They're good for others. I tell people all the time, the first time I walked in the door at Be Free, I walked in it for myself. The second time I walked for everybody else. And, bro, like that's...
I like that.
And that's not for me to you know what I mean? I don't want no credit for that, but, like, that's just my mindset, and you see results from that mindset when you start doing it for others instead of for you. So, and I got to see my baby baptized because of that.
It's like if you stay in it, eventually others get affected anyway.
I've got to see all of my kids are living for God now.
Wow.
And,
and we've got one, and again, not to use your word spotlight, but we've got one in the back right now helping us out to produce the show.
That's right.
And I'm just so amazed to see how quickly
he turned everything in here on so that we could even do this show.
Wow.
This show don't happen if Craig's got to turn it on, I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, man, bro, that's just incredible. And And, as we were talking earlier, and it takes me back to it, I just can't, seeing what we've seen already, I can't help but imagine what more is to come. What other families are going to have the same testimony? Hey, a couple of months ago, I was strung out, but now my son or my daughter's getting baptized. My cousin, my uncle, my family member, that person that I never thought was going to ever get right, I'm bringing them in. They got to feel the power of God because of what you said, a decision.
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. I get the opportunity to tell my testimony a lot of places, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful for that opportunity. Every time I get to do it, I love to do it. But my greatest testimony, I know God brought me a long ways. He brought me through a lot. He's helped me overcome so much. But me as a dad, my greatest testimony is watching my kids live for God now. That, to me, that's I know it's power. There's power in your testimony. I get it, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from what God has done for me. But just my mind now is when I see my kids up here singing, I see my kids people don't know what they lived through just a short period of time ago. And now to get to see them freely get up here and worship, they worry me half to death on Sunday mornings and Sunday afternoons and Wednesdays, bro, to get them here an hour or two early.
Get to practice or something, get to rehearsal.
Yeah. Like we just made a comment, Layden turned all this on. Well, he thinks he needs to be here 2 hours before anybody to turn it on. Well, guess who's got to bring him? Me. Right. Or his mama.
So he's making you.
But that is awesome, though. Right. It really is.
Right.
So we I don't even know where we started or where we're going to end, but.
Well, you just said something. You said you said something along the lines of it wasn't too long ago.
It wasn't too long ago.
That they were going through a totally different world.
Oh, man.
Oh,
bro, like completely different. So when I see all of these new people being added to the groups, and I see all of these new faces in the altar up here shouting and worshiping and going to prayer meetings and in the prayer room and stuff, I think, you know what? That's where it's at. That's where it's at because I know what it did for me and mine, and I'm getting to watch what it's going to do for you.
I can imagine seeing you, picturing you in them, how the turnaround.
I don't want to put that on that person.
Right. Right. We don't want to do that. But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Though. That was you at one point.
When
you were coming in, you were taking those first steps.
That's right.
You were trying this thing out. And look where you've ended up.
When you see the uncertainty in people's faces, and let's be honest, and I'm sure Pastor could probably tell you the same things. There's a lot of times when we step up here and pick this mic up, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what's going to happen.
Yeah, what was going to be said, huh?
Right. So, you know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of people, when they first come into the church, they feel those same feelings that people that have been in the church, people that are preaching, people that are teaching, I'm talking about great men of God, they feel that same uncertainty, and it's because God's removing them out of the way so that he can do his best work. Right. So, I love it. I love it. It's the holidays. I'm thankful, for all the things that God's done in our lives, your life, and everyone else is here. And I'm just full of joy right now. Like my baby got baptized last week. I don't need nothing for Christmas.
Right, that was Christmas.
that is Christmas. You know what I mean? What better Christmas present could a father watch than to know that your kids are walking in the truth? Wow. And
it's incredible because they are listening and they are watching. Yeah. And they're absolutely aware of what's going on. Because one could easily say, oh, well, you even said to yourself, you don't maybe exactly remember how everything happened. So I think you kind of mentioned you were maybe a little skeptical when your son had came up to you at first. But they are watching because you told me he went to Pastor V himself.
To Pastor V himself, by himself. I mean, you got this little 6-year-old boy, and he just walks up to Pastor V like, I probably wouldn't just walk up and be like, hey, bro, let's. I would.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that had to be a scary moment for him, and he did it, and, I'm like, wow. That's determination, and that's a person that's got their mind made up that they're ready to live for God.
Wow. Look, you know how you say you don't know what's going to come out of here? That's why they cut my mic off. They don't know what I'm going to say. Yeah. No, I'm kidding, but, man, that is just incredible, bro. And I love it because it serves as a testimony that if God could do it for you, he can do it for anyone else.
You know, and I think there's 4 other children that were baptized last week. They have their stories as well.
Right,
and, you know, I don't know their stories, and it's not my story to tell, but I know that there is some unique details that unfolded in their situations, too, that only God could have done.
Wow.
You know, so, I mean, when I look back, you know, you say you wasn't really sure how it unfolds. Now, like living the life I live now, I can look back on my previous life and see details of what God was doing the whole time. And, bro, that's mind-blowing when you look back and you see where God was at in the middle of your mess.
Because he was there.
Because he was there.
He was there. Yeah.
And when you start making the right choices and you start living right and doing the right things, you get the benefits of being able to look back and say, wow,
yeah,
he never left me. He never forsake me.
Right, right.
Wow.
Even when you had no idea of maybe even that God existed or, you know, anything like that.
Well, you turned your back on him, you know, let's face it. You're either living for the devil or you're living for God. There's no in between.
Right. There's no gray area. It's black or white. It really is when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Some people may argue and say that's not the case, and that's all right. But I really do think it is black and white. It is God or not, you know. And if it's not God, what else is it?
Yeah, it's definitely not nothing worth having for sure.
Right.
But, bro, this has been awesome, and I have enjoyed it so much. I know it's the holiday season's coming up, and we're just sitting up here reminiscing today.
Yeah.
And that's okay because God's been good to us.
Bro.
And, yeah, he's got to get you a new mic, though.
Yeah, it's going to be on my Christmas list.
We're asking for new mics for Christmas if anybody wants to donate.
Well, there it goes.
Yeah,
it's a little crazy.
Yeah, bounce it off the table one time. Yeah, that might not work. They might not like that.
It's like I remember when we used to play you know, interestingly, I did have a Nintendo 64. I'd take the cassette out and blow in it. But I ain't going to blow in his mic.
I seen a deal the other day. It was an old TV and an old like Mario Brothers, like the ancient, like first Nintendo that come out. Bro, I was like, this brings back so many memories right there. I used to tear my brother up on that thing. He'd get so mad. He couldn't beat the first level, and I could beat the whole thing and never get killed, you know. So it brought back memory. You said that, made me think about it. But
always been a problem solver.
Always been a problem solver. Yeah, for sure. Always been a problem maker, too. But anyways, here we are. So tell me, before we get off here, we're drawing near to the end of the year. You got any more engagements throughout this year?
I don't think so. We'll just. It seems like everybody got married earlier this year or got engaged. So
yeah, I was talking about like. I wasn't asking, was you going to get engaged?
Oh, no,
I
didn't.
Do you have any more, like, are you going out of the country anymore this year?
Oh, bro,
you evidently got engagement on your mind.
Well,
you went straight there.
Well, see, typically, I guess I read it in a different sense, but no, thankfully, and I do say it with honesty and humility, no more this year because, you know, I couldn't imagine trying to travel outside or anything like that.
It would be
out
tough.
the country. Yeah, with the, you know, and there's a lot of, the other day I was actually looking at a plane map. A current one, and man, if you were to see the flights that happen every day,
I've seen something similar.
Yeah,
to that.
Man, it's crazy. You know, people are traveling. It's a holiday season, so I'm glad I don't have to get caught up in any movement like that.
It's good to be at home.
It's absolutely good to be at home.
Good to be at home.
You know, with that heater turned on, with this cold weather we've been having.
I guarantee.
So, bro, look, I'm thankful to be at home. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my church family, bro. And I'm just so glad to see what God's doing in my own personal life, but I'm glad to see he's blessing others in their personal lives as well. It's awesome to see that, you know, that not only you're being blessed and you're able to have a great time. I see posts all the time on Facebook of what God is doing in people's lives, and it just makes me thankful and appreciative. And it lets me know that it keeps being a reminder to me and a testimony to me that if I confront, which I will, things in life that I feel like are too hard to overcome, I've got a God who's right there with me to help me overcome them. That's
right. That's so good. Thank you. Thank you for all you do, Sergio, for the kingdom of God. I've got to. I cannot leave here today without circling back to that engagements remark. I said, do you have any more engagements?
Engagements.
And you immediately went to, nah, bro, ain't nobody else getting married. Nah, ain't nobody else. When I said engagements, that was plural.
Yeah.
You should only be thinking of one.
No, well, I was thinking you were asking if I knew of any other people getting engaged. I was like, I don't know. Why would they tell me?
Oh Lord, that's good stuff, bro. That's good stuff.
Because I guess what I got when I went back to is, my shout out to my brother and Sister Ellie, but they got engaged. Brother Eli and Sister Ellie.
The pressure's
and I know
on.
many people have gotten engaged.
The pressure is on.
The pressure is on. I've had everybody ask me, they're like,
the hyphen group, it really does seem like y'all are all going to just another level of, you know what I mean, engagement, getting married, just adulthood quickly.
Life.
I mean, like quickly.
Quickly. And it's bittersweet in a sense because there's only, the other day we were sitting at Ferdinand's and there's only a few of us left that aren't engaged. And we were just reminiscing on how when we were first getting into the youth group, doing the music, being in the youth group, being over like the pre-service Bible study and stuff like that. And now we're watching as these young people come up, these new young people, some that have not even been here for more than 3 months.
That's right.
Come in and be leaders, get involved. And, bro, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is good.
It lets me know that Bethlehem has a future.
Absolutely. It's so good. And I'm like you. It's awesome to be able to watch these new people. Again, we're talking about new people that are stepping into these places, and it's just great to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I know we're wrapping up now, but real quickly, do you, in your words, do you have any engagements you have coming up this year?
You know what? I got one little deal New Year's Eve, and it's just right here in Mississippi. So
okay. No. So that's the 31st.
I'm at home. Well, actually, I think it's the 30th.
30th. Okay.
It's a New Year's Eve rally.
Man, so you're going out in ministry, dude. Look at that.
Whatever.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
You should go with me.
I will. If you don't play with me, I will be there.
You should go with me.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I will.
I need you. We're going over to Guntown, so you'll love it.
Okay. You said that in a way that makes me a little concerned.
It's really I really enjoy going over there. It's a fun church to go to.
We can make that happen.
It is.
Maybe even record something for the morning show.
Yeah, we can for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But look here, we got men's breakfast at 8:00.
We do,
and we're in some of these men's way of getting to eat their bacon. So. In my way of getting some of that bacon too. So I appreciate you, everything you do, bro.
Likewise, bro. Likewise. It's always good to be on here with you, bro. I'm just thankful and I'm just so grateful to be able to be on here with somebody that I know is on fire for the kingdom. I know we're closing out. I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything, but I've seen what God's doing in you and through your family, bro. And I know that all happened, or it all began, rather, when you began to take those decisions that you talked about earlier. And so, man, your life is a testimony to others, and it's an example. And I know that there's many that are blessed and that have been blessed by your ministry, bro. And so I'm thankful for you. We love you guys. Be here for prayer at 9:30 this morning. We can't wait to see y'all, and be careful headed up here because it is raining. We love y'all.